morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of May 2018, and we are going on a trip down memory lane. So fasten up your steam belts and get ready for a journey back into time. This is the Steem Radio Show, and we are live on MSP Waves. Today, it's going to be a special show because my co-host Main Event, with a 1 and not an I, is sharing and celebrating his 1 year anniversary here on the Steemit platform. So happy Steamiversary to you, Main Event. Are you with us?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Snekky, for that wonderful introduction. And once again, welcome everybody to the Steem Radio Show. And yep, it's been 1 whole year since I've been here on the Steem blockchain. And, I'm not trying to, make a big deal out of just me as a person here, but I'm just trying to celebrate tonight all the experiences and all the people and all the different things that I've come across since joining the Steem blockchain 1 year ago. So here we are again. Yes, it's May the 9th, 2018. It's wonderful to have you all here with us tonight on MSPWaves Radio, which of course is part of the Ma1ne Support Project. You can find all about that on MSPWaves.com for the full schedule of all the different radio shows that are all hosted by people from the Steem community. So check it out. And again, that's MSPWaves.com. And shout out to everybody who is going to listen here with us tonight in the live audience. We are going to be chatting in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty server here on Discord. And you can find us under that name. So if you have Discord chat, feel free to join us in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty server. And you can find links to that by visiting Ma1ne Support on Steemit, because of course that is the home of the Ma1ne Support Project. So if you're on the Steemit platform and you haven't checked it out yet, certainly check out at Ma1ne Support, and you'll find links to this Discord. And right now we are chatting in the MSP Waves audience channel. So shout out to everybody in that channel. And, it's crazy. So we're going to talk about a lot of random stuff in this show. Normally this show, each and every week, we've done this show now for months. And normally what we do is we bring Steemians on here to kind of tell their story of, what brought them here to the platform, what they think of it, what they're doing here, all their different projects they're working on. And we've done that now for weeks, and it's wonderful. It's always amazing to hear all those different stories, isn't it, Snekky?
Oh, absolutely. I like every background story about how they found out about Steemit and what they're doing, the projects, and it gives to me personally, it gives a deeper meaning to the whole Steemit platform. Sorry, by connecting with those other Steemians all over the world. And I always love it. New people on the show, people who have joined 2 years ago, you can learn from it, and it's amazing.
Yes, and, this show, I originally started it, I'll have to look back, because I'm going to start back at kind of near the beginning of my blog, just for reference points as for myself to kind of talk about different things. But it was, last summer, I started doing this show on MSP Waves, and, eventually I did interview you on the show. You were a guest, and
Yeah.
you later joined me as a co-host. And, ever since then, we've been doing this show every week. And it's amazing, like we said, to hear all the different stories of all these creative, talented people from all over the world. We get to learn a little bit more about them. And this week, we're just going to kind of take some time and kind of talk about some of the things that we've experienced also, and, kind of our stories a little bit more. I did interview Snekky once before on the show. It was, you were one of my first few guests. I don't think you were too far into the show before you jumped on as a guest.
I don't know. I
We'd have to look back. I'll come
Yeah.
across it as we're scrolling through here. I'm sure I'll find it.
All I know is that I was addicted right away to your amazing radio voice.
Well, thank you. And yeah, this isn't all about me. It's just coincidence that it happens to be today's my 1 year anniversary on the platform, and we had a show to do tonight. So we thought, hey, why don't we talk about some of the different things that have kind of gone on in the last year? Where do we see things going? That type of thing. As
Well, I
always,
have to stop
go
you
ahead.
there
No.
because
Yes.
it's not a coincidence because strange things happen when we do this radio show. every weird update or everything that changed in the past almost happened on a Wednesday right before the show. And now you have your 1 year anniversary. I don't think that's coincidence. There's something more behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it is kind of funny how that works out sometimes, and we'll kind of talk about that throughout the show as we go through the timeline a little bit. And yeah, we've done a lot of these shows where something changed on either the Steemit website or something out there changed, and it seemed to always happen on a Wednesday. So yeah, you're right about that. That's kind of cool, and it is kind of a cool coincidence that today's happens to be the day also. A lot of people celebrating birthdays this week. Shout out to Discordian, who just had a birthday. If you don't know if he's listening tonight, but shout out to him.
Ooh, happy birthday, Discordian.
Yes. I think I saw some other people that were going to be celebrating birthdays this week too. So shout out to all the people celebrating this week.
Did you eat cake?
I didn't get any cake yet. I'm going to have to go out and get some cake later maybe.
Yes, with a cherry on top.
And before we get going too far here, again, welcome to the Steem Radio Show. My name is Ma1ne. I'm here with Poetic Snake.
That's me.
And we kind of want to do our little disclaimer here really quick. Everything you hear on this show is just our opinions, but Snekky, I'm going to play your disclaimer, okay?
Okie dokie. You are listening to the Steem Radio Show on MSPWaves. Everything you hear on this show is our opinion only and should not be taken as financial advice or advice of any kind. This show is strictly for entertainment purposes only. MSPWaves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station. The material on the Steem Radio Show is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research.
That's right.
Yep, that's the most important thing. Don't take any advice from us.
No, this is just our opinion, kind of the things that have happened to us. Every person, that's what's amazing about this platform, in my opinion, is that every person who joins is going to have a completely different experience. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, as far as if I go back to every conversation that I had, every story has been different, and I think that is a good thing.
Just giving a quick shout out to everybody in the audience right now who's chatting in the MSPWaves audience channel. Shout out to all of you. Welcome to the show. See lots of people jumping on here. Now, throughout the show, feel free to let us know in the audience how long you've been on the Steem blockchain. I'm kind of curious. So, I'm celebrating 1 year today. Snekky, you're coming up on what, almost 2 years?
Yes, in 2 months I will be celebrating my 2 years Steemiversary.
And I mean, obviously, I wouldn't tell everybody to always make a big deal about, I've been here 6 months and I got 500 followers. And, those things are milestones and it's okay to talk about them. And if you want to post about them, that's fine. Again, I'm really not trying to make like a huge deal about this as me as an individual. It's more like we're going to go back in time and just kind of talk about our experiences and the people we've interacted with and the projects and the communities and all these different things that we've seen over the course of this year. Because when I first joined, so last May, May 9th or whatever it was last year, I had no idea what this platform even was. I heard about it through some YouTube personalities. They were kind of saying that they were going to start posting their content over here. And so I followed them over here, and I eventually, did get an account. I didn't really have any issues getting an account. I do hear stories sometimes of people saying it takes a really long time. I'm not sure how that all works. I'm, of course, not affiliated with any of it. I just use the platform. But, my first experiences here, I had no idea what to even do here. I had never been a blogger. I had never really created content, like doing blog posts or I worked in radio and I am a DJ in my personal life, but I had never done these things online. I'd never done like an online podcast like we're doing now. I had never done blogging. I liked photography and things like that, but I didn't even own a nice camera or anything like that. So when I first joined, I was an avid retro game collector. And I was like, well, maybe I can post about that. So my first couple of posts, were kind of about my game collecting hobby and kind of asking people if they were into that type of thing as well. And, I did okay. My first couple posts, I think I made like 30 cents on my first post and things like that. So that was kind of cool. And I saw right away that there was just a different vibe here than on other social media that I had been on. People here seemed to actually reach out and say hello and, hey, nice, even if they gave you just a quick little nice post comment, because of course at the time I didn't realize that a lot of them may or may not be spam comments. I was like, oh, cool, somebody likes my blog, awesome. And so, it kind of evolved from there, and I started out just doing very simple posts, picture here, picture there. Didn't have any idea what any of this stuff was. I eventually started realizing, though, that there was all these like different communities and projects, and it was much bigger than I ever could have imagined. When I first joined, I thought it was just maybe, blogging and you earned some crypto. I knew a little bit about cryptocurrencies. I was like super close to buying some Bitcoin back in January 2017, and I chickened out. I didn't do it. And so I kind of, I knew what crypto was and things. And so when I saw this opportunity to join Steemit and the Steem blockchain, I said, okay, well, I don't have to invest any money in it at the moment. I can try it out and see how it goes. And, I'm very glad that I did that. If I had not done that, I look back now and it's like, if I hadn't joined Steemit, how different would my life be right now? Like, do you want to kind of chime in, Snekky, here, and I'll kind of stop, and if you want to talk about a little bit, of your early days and your early experiences, and then we can kind of go from there.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, when I joined, what is it, 20 months ago? No, 22
almost
months
2
ago.
years.
Yeah, almost 2 years. I had no clue what Steemit really was. I got a friend of mine told me about this platform where you could share your writings and earn crypto money. I didn't know about crypto, but I never got into it besides Bitcoin. And I didn't chicken out. Sorry, not rubbing it in or anything. But I joined the platform and I was like, where the hell am I? What is this and how does it work? And I got totally lost, and I started to share my poetry and my horror stories. They didn't become like viral or anything, so it was not the place for that. But I didn't give up because right from the start, I really felt like this was the place for me, and I saw the potential, and I joined. No, I don't. It's not a podcast. It was a group before Discord, and there I learned a lot about what the crypto was, what Steem was, and SPDs and stuff. And I finally started to learn a little bit more about it, and I started to change my blogging as well. I never was a content creator. I did write fiction stories, short, and I come from a role play background on Facebook. So I did some writing, but never as a blogger. So it took me quite some time to build up my account, and I had a hard road because there was not like how the communities are right now. It wasn't there yet. It took a few months before that really started, and here we are today. I'm still here after all these months, and it's amazing. And I think I learned a whole lot during those months here.
Yeah, I can only imagine how everything must have been, because that was probably right after Steemit was created, right? I mean, it hadn't been even out very long.
No, I think 2 or 3 months, but it might be a little bit longer. I was an early adapter, and everybody who joins today is still an early adapter, in my opinion, because the platform is only 2 years old, and there's going to be a lot of changes.
Yeah, it's still in beta, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's constantly changing, and so let's see in the audience here. So I see some people's, somebody saying they've been here since August 2016, 145 days. I see some people listening in the audience that I know have been here for a decent amount of time. I'm not sure how long many of them have been here, but again, if you guys want to, feel free to chime in and let us know how long you've all been here too. But a lot's changed, even since a year ago. Who remembers the classic blue background on Steemit?
Yes, I miss it. No, just kidding.
You know, it's weird. I kind of sort of miss it too, but I do like that we can customize it now, though.
Oh, yes, yes. I still have problem making a fitting background, though. No matter how many times people tell me the right sizes, I keep messing it up, but oh well.
Yeah, I mean, originally everything was just that blue background on everything. There was profile pictures, but no, the background picture was just a blue bar.
Don't you have a picture of that?
Somewhere, yeah, I'll have to pull it up here. But yeah, everything was just that blue bar. The original, it was just the Steem logo too. Remember? It was just the Steem logo.
Too. Yeah, now it's a penguin, right?
Well, they have their Steemit has their own logo now, so it's Steemit has a logo, and of course the Steem cryptocurrency has its own logo. But at one time that was they were interchangeable or whatever.
Yes.
And of course, again, this is all just our opinions. We're not experts of anything, so don't hold us to it. But this is what we noticed. So of course, so that was, I remember, a big change when that all happened. But going back now to, so a year ago, it seemed like, from looking back at data and things like that, and again, I may not be exactly right on this, but it seemed like an awful lot of people joined between like May and July of last year. And if anybody's in the audience and they know any statistics on that, but it seemed like an awful lot of people joined in that time frame. And many of those people are still here now. Many of them are now prominent members of the community. They're becoming community leaders. They might be witnesses. They might be moderators in communities. Who knows what? They're all doing many different projects and roles and things. And it's very cool to see that, because I remember when I was first joining and first interacting with some of these folks, we had no idea where we were going to go or what was going to evolve from everything. And it's cool to see people being able to use their talents and their abilities and all these things in all these different projects, and seeing them evolve over the last year. I'm sure you have seen people as well in your travels, Snekky, too.
Oh, yes, lots of them. Some got lost, some gave up. I remember a time that Steem was 7 cents or 14 cents. And I was wondering, your first post, how did they do payout wise? Were you happy with it? Or if you look back to it now, how did it make you feel to get your first payouts?
I was excited. I'm looking right now. I think my first post, what did it get here? It got 16 cents.
Whoa.
And I remember being like, well, that's 16 more cents than I would have got doing anything else, probably sitting here online or whatever.
Yes.
And so I remember that was really cool, and I was hooked, obviously, right away. I was like, oh, this is awesome, and it took a while for me to even make like I think, to even get anything above like $1, it took a little while. But it's such an exciting feeling when you first join. At least it was for me, and it seems like it's been that way for a lot of people. When you first join, there is quite an exciting feeling, isn't there?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think I was not able to scroll back all the way down to my first post because I didn't find the time to do so. But I remember that it took quite some time before I got some payouts. It was cents, and it felt like I found, heaven on earth, I think the first time when my post got upvoted by a big whale, and it was Block Trades who found me and started to support me from that moment. The first big payout was like 500 SPD or something, and I cried. I was so happy. I cried happy tears, and I think I even danced around in the living room singing a happy song. And it's just that amazing feeling. And oh, I would I wouldn't say I want to go back to that, because where we are now, I think it's better. But that feeling, I believe, after almost being here 2 years, sometimes you forget, and I kind of want it back. You know.
Yeah, and we'll kind of talk about that too later in the show as a separate topic. How people kind of evolve from when they first join to later on. But
Yeah.
yes, and if anybody's listening and they're brand new or they've only been here a month or two or something, you know, try to keep that energy, that excitement, because it is easy sometimes once you've been here for a while. You may not do so well with your posts, the rewards or something, or who knows what could happen. You could get the Steam burnout, as we talk about sometimes. You're
Oh,
posting too
yes.
much, maybe, or you're online too much or whatnot. You got to be careful of that too. But try to just hold on to that positive energy of you're excited about something new. You're creating content. You're sharing things with the world. That part of it is amazing, in our opinion. And you're going to reach people from all over the globe, and that part of it is amazing too.
Yes, because how marvelous is it? I'm here in the Netherlands, you're there in the US, and we are just talking to each other about a platform, and that's just cool.
Yeah, and it's so much bigger than us, of course, and there's so many wonderful people out there who have helped us along the way in all the different projects and communities. So once I had been here for, a month or so, I started getting into the curator aspect of it. Because I wasn't really big on writing and things. I'm not the best, writer, I'll admit it. But I liked the curator aspect of it. I said, wow, this is really cool. I can go out there and actually find interesting content and try to help the authors who are creating it. Because that's really cool. That's one of the cool things about this community is you're able to do that with your Steam power. And of course, the values are going to fluctuate, and 1,000 SP might be worth one thing today, and it's going to be worth something else tomorrow. But even a penny, is cool to be able to give somebody, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like pushing that vote button, and I also like reading. So for me, curating posts is just pure happiness. I really enjoy starting up my computer and getting my morning coffee and just sit down and take the time to read through the feed and see what people post about. And I am one of the persons who also goes to the trending section, because I am curious and I want to read everything. And I like that part. It gives me happiness. And if you are able to give a cent or 2 cent or 3 cent, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that somebody reads your article and pushes that vote button as a thank you for doing that, thank you for writing that down, thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, and even better is if they leave you some feedback in a comment. If they actually write something to you and say, talk about something they actually enjoyed from the post, beyond just, hey, nice post, here's the link to my blog, upvote me, please.
Oh no.
So, that's one thing I would also recommend to anybody who's new, or somebody who might be struggling with trying to find content to post. Don't always focus on the posting aspect of it so much, but and many other people have said all these things too. We're not the first to say any of this stuff, but try to leave leave some replies on people's posts, and make them genuine. Actually, read the post, and try to reach out to some of these people, because many of them are very helpful. Also, they might lead you to other people who can help you, or connections or friends you might make, or who knows what could happen. It's amazing.
Yeah, connection is key, I believe, in my honest opinion. I think you get a lot further on Steemit if you make those connections, either through, replies on posts, getting into contact, Discord, Steemit.chat. It makes a difference. And I always enjoy it when people reply to my posts, and I try to reply to them as well back. And I struggle, to be honest. I struggle to leave replies on every post that I read because that would mean that I won't have any fingers left. But it's something I'm working on. I'm still learning as well. And but those replies, I think, if you don't have the time to write a full article, you can go a long way by replying to other people.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like if you're struggling to, some people are they feel pressured to post or something like that. Oh, I got to post something because they kind of get, they like those rewards and things, so they feel like pressured sometimes. I feel like to keep posting, and don't feel that pressure. You can always go out there and actually read people's posts, and if you want someone to support your content, you probably kind of got to return it in a way. Maybe not. I'm not saying vote for vote or anything. But, if you expect people to actually be out there reading your content, you need to be a reader too,
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I that's to me that's common sense, but I can, maybe other
Well,
people think different about that. But
it's funny because people are coming here from other social media platforms. And, it's possible that maybe a lot of them aren't there's a subculture to the Steem blockchain that isn't always presented to everybody when they first join. You know what I mean? Would you agree with that?
yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
There's kind of like this unwritten etiquette in a way out there. It seems like of, you got to post good content. That people are not going to support plagiarism here. They're not going to support copied posts. That type of thing. There's actually people looking for those types of content, and it's not always known right away by everybody who joins here. Of course, you should never plagiarize. Obviously, that stuff's all bad. But some
Oh no,
people don't
never.
know that they shouldn't just post one photo with no text and say, here's my picture I took today. Because on other platforms, that might be acceptable. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough because there's people who are going to always be joining that don't always know that. So there's always going to be that underlying bit of content out there that does make it hard for curators because they've got to sift through all this stuff. Like I do a lot of curating in the introduce yourself tag now, and I mean that tag is just filled with random stuff
Oh,
that has
yes, it is.
nothing to do with introducing yourself. Um,
No, no, it's about cookies, man. Oh gosh.
yeah, and so that part is tough being a curator, but I think as more people join, and there's so many communities now that have been created, like the Minnow Support Project, for example. It's a great place where people can go, they can learn, they can chat with people, they can listen to these radio shows, all of these things. And, if you're somebody who's trying to spam or if you're trying to post plagiarized content, it's going to get found and you're going to be you're going to be removed from the group, that type of thing. So it
Oh
helps these
yes.
people learn and helps them understand that that is not the culture around here for this platform. And I'm not speaking for the whole platform by any means, but that seems to be what I've seen in my experience here now being here a year. You know, people aren't going to support that type of thing. So you need to be creating original content. I've seen discussions even lately of should people be posting, content that they created 5 years ago on some other platform? Should they be reposting that on Steemit? I don't know. I don't know what the argument for that is either way. I mean, that's a tough one. And so there's all these underlying things like that where people just kind of got to keep their ears open and see what the community's saying and how they're reacting to things. And that's a big part of being here, wouldn't you say, too, Snekky, is kind of keeping your ear to the ground, kind of seeing what's going on out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm all for original content. I do understand though that sometimes when you have joined like other platforms before you join Steemit and you are used to sharing your content there, and then you kind of copy paste it to Steemit. You know, I I find that very hard. I like Steemit original content. Everything that I produce is now Steemit original. I share it on Steemit. If I share it on other platforms, it's after the fact of posting on Steemit first. It's a lesson learned because in the past when I joined like the first couple of months, I did share content which I shared on other platforms before. I never got flagged for it, but people were kind enough to point me in the good direction, or at least what I find is a good direction. I can't talk for everybody, of course, but yeah.
Right. Well, you're listening to the Steem Radio Show with myself, Main Event, and Poetic Snake.
That's me.
It's wonderful to have you all here with us. We're about 30 minutes into the show here, and you're hearing us on MSPWaves Radio today, which again is part of the Minnow Support Project. We hope you'll check them out on Steemit. It's at MSP-Waves, so MSP-Waves on Steemit. And their website, where you can see the full schedule of all the shows, is mspwaves.com. And tonight, again, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm kind of celebrating my 1-year Steamiversary, I guess we'd call it. I've been here now for 1 year on the platform. Snekky's coming up on 2 years, not very far away here, so we're just kind of reflecting and looking back on our experiences since we've been here. Again, if you're new to the show, normally we bring Steemians on the show each and every week to kind of hear their story, exactly what we're doing tonight, just kind of learn more about them, their projects they're working on, things like that. So if you are interested in being a guest on the show, what do they have to do, Snekky?
Run away really hard. No, just kidding. No, they just have to contact us. Either you or me, send us a DM or an inbox. You can leave a reply on one of the show posts that Ma1ne Event shares or I share, and we will get in touch with you. And we would love to have you on the show as a guest. Everybody's welcome.
Yes, as we said, we've done this show now for many months. We've interviewed dozens of different Steemians from all over the world, all different experience levels. It doesn't matter if you've just joined the platform or whether you've been here for the whole time or you're a witness, or, you know, we'd be happy to have you on the show. It's always wonderful to hear all the different stories of all the backgrounds where people came from, what they're creating on here. You know, so many talented, cool, creative people on the Steem blockchain, in my opinion.
Yes, I totally agree with you. I wish we had a list with all the names of all the guests we had. Maybe if the show is 1 year old, we should make a list like that.
Yeah, I would have to go through this blog because they're all posted on my blog on Steemit. So I'd have to go back through and do that, and I will do that. So I think it was July. Let me scroll up here. I know I can find it. But yeah, no, welcome to the show if you're just tuning in, everybody. We're here each and every Wednesday from 10 to midnight UTC time, which is 6 to 8 Eastern time. Snekky, were you about to say something?
I was saying it's 12:30 here, a.m. It's late.
Of course, you are in the Netherlands. I'm here in the United States. And again, we do this show each and every Wednesday here on MSP Waves, so we'd love to have you on the show. So certainly get a hold of us, and we can have you on the show sometime.
Yes, and don't be shy. Don't run away. We don't bite, and it's really fun to be a guest on our show. You can ask all our previous guests. We did not bribe them or anything, but they will tell you that it's really cool. So come on, just DM us and be a guest on our show. And don't say I have nothing to tell or my story is boring. It's not true. Every story is amazing, and we want to have you on the show. And M1, don't run away because I'm going to pull you back.
Yes, no, it's certainly been a lot of fun doing all these radio shows, and it's certainly been amazing. And we'll talk a little bit more about the station coming up later in the show. But again, you know, we've both been curators here on the Steemit platform. We're both members of OCD, which is Operation Curation Delegation. You can find that on Steemit. It's just at OCD, the 3 letters.
Yes, OCD.
And that started last summer under Acidio, and that's been a wonderful group to be a part of because we do curating every single day, 6 days a week, I should say. And it's a lot of fun to go out there every day and find different posts to help share those in a daily compilation and get them some, extra boosts on their posts and things like that when they're nominated. So it's certainly a lot of fun to help the different Steemians out there who are all undervalued authors. They all have to be posts that are, I think it's like less than $10 for sure is a kind of a criteria and things, and they have to have been out for a little while. But it's a lot of fun to find those out there and get those some extra exposure.
Yeah, absolutely. I love OCD. I joined not so long ago when they started to do the language curation. So together with one more Dutch person, Jack, I am doing the Dutch curation for OCD. And even, yeah, we go out every workday, well, from Monday to Saturday to do this. We scan the platform for good Dutch posts. And I think it's a nice addition to a nice thing added to what OCD was already doing.
And of course, we do other curation on our own. I do some curation for the Minnow Support Project each week. I was doing some curation with MuxieBot as well, and of course, just doing things on my own curation. And Snekky, you have a curation project too, right?
Yes, You Got Snacked is totally back. I brought it back last week and I did the first compilation post this morning. And it felt so good to finally start that project up again, to find those, people to curate and leave a nice reply and an upvote, of course, and then share their links in my post, giving them the eyes on the post that they deserve. And I'm so happy. I was really excited this morning when I push post, and I kind of make a little happy dance.
Yeah, that's as we mentioned earlier, being a curator is just a whole nother aspect of being on the Steem blockchain. You don't have to only create content; you can be a curator, and it is rewarding to actually go out and find people who are so talented in creating these posts, and maybe they are new, maybe they don't know about joining the different communities and networking and doing these things, so their posts may not be just getting as many views as they could be. And it's fun to try to help in any way you can, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not only a simple up, which is obviously nice if you get one or are able to give one. It's the eyes on the post that make me happy. If I know that somebody reads my post, it makes me more happy than an upvote. That might sound really, really weird, but it's the truth, because you work for it and you want to be seen. And that is also why I love doing this curation project. You Got Snack does not stop when your reputation gets too high or when you are no longer a Planktown, a minnow. We go beyond that because everybody deserves eyes on their posts. And I think that is the part of curation that I like.
I agree, because there is that part of it where, once you've been here for a while and you might have some Steem power, there are certain projects and certain, curator types and whatnot that may look over your posts because they'll say, oh, you've been here too long, or, oh, you've got a rep 60 now, so you don't need any more help, or whatever. And it's good that, projects like yours are kind of just doing away with those boundaries and just curating good content. I like that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with what the others do. It's very important when you are new to the platform, that there are groups who focus on your kind of group where you're on the plankton, on the minnows and stuff like that. I think they need a lot of attention. But I am a firm believer that after that period of time, you still need attention, because otherwise, why are you sharing something online?
Well, and something could happen. Like, I know you took a little break for a little while from the platform, and that happens. Life happens. So if you're not posting for a while, you may lose some followers or whatnot, and so who knows? You might need some, exposure again when you decide to come back or something. There's always different scenarios out there, so it's good to have a variety of different curator groups, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to take a break for at least three and a half months, I think, because my life, took a turn for the worse. And after I had a nice following, but when I returned, I had to start all over again. Yet I was already a dolphin. So my rep was too high. I was no longer a minnow. I had to start all over again without getting that help. And that's okay. I had the help in the past, but I always felt like there needs to be something there to pick it up. And that's why I don't, I just want to do a curation project that focuses on everybody.
Well, that's really cool. And if anybody in the audience that's listening, if you do a curation project and you want to mention that, feel free in the audience. This is kind of open format, tonight's show. So, if you've got something in the audience that you want to mention that's relevant to kind of the discussion that we're talking about, if you, like I said, if you're doing a curation project and you want to mention that, go right ahead. We'll try to give you a little shout out here. We appreciate all of you tuning in. Again, this is the Steem Radio show here on MSPWaves. So curation, and we'll kind of move on from there to, so when I became a curator for OCD, that was the first time I was ever exposed to Discord chat.
Oh, Discord. We should play a little scary tune now because you're going to get drawn in.
Right. So Discord chat. Wow. What can we say about Discord? I mean, it's an awesome thing. It's great chat platform, in my opinion, that we all are using here for these various different Steam-based communities that are popping up on Discord chat. And wow, I never would have guessed how much time I would have spent online chatting again. I mean, I did a lot of chatting like in the late 90s and things like that on the internet and stuff, but the last 10 years I haven't done much of it. But I never would have guessed how much time I would have ended up spending on Discord. And I'm sure people in the audience, and I'm sure you can chime in on that as well.
Oh my gosh. What can I say about Discord? I'm addicted. There's not one day going by without me logging into Discord. And the first time I was so scared because I thought, what, chatting, it's not my thing anymore. I grew over that. I did it in the 90s, just like you. Messenger and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a whole different world. And I started to love it again. And here I am. I have Discord on from the moment that I wake up till I go to bed.
Yeah, and so, we created a group for the curators, and so that was my first experience with Discord. And then somewhere along the way, and somebody else is in the audience who knows the answer to this can chime in. When did MSP get created? When was the Minnow Support Project Discord created? I know it was in the summer, last summer. I think June, but don't quote me on that.
So I don't know because I joined later than you.
Yeah, Crimson's typing. Crimson Clad is in the chat right now, and big shout out to Crimson Clad. She does a lot of great things here in the Minnow Support community, so shout out to her. Yeah, around June 2nd. And is there a command that shows like when we joined? There must be, right? I'm a mod. I should know this.
Yes.
I should know this. I know there is one. I'm just trying to remember what it is. My brain's drawing a blank at the moment. The T rank type stuff, I think, will show you your ranks.
Rondon just shared it. Created on Thursday, June 1st, 2017.
At 5:09 p.m. We need to have a party this year on June 1st.
Yes. I vote for cake.
Absolutely. Oh, I said it. Oh, I was trying not to say it the whole show.
What did you say?
I said the word absolutely. I was trying so hard to not say it. It was an inside joke, but I was trying so hard not to say it. But anyway, moving on. Moving on. But yeah, so the Minnow Support Project got created. And somehow, I don't remember, I must have saw it in a post or something. I saw the link and I joined. And wow, again, what a life-changing experience joining the Minnow Support Project, MSP. This community, which was created by Agrode and many other people who are now, moderators and behind the scenes and witnesses and just all these people now who have come together to make this group work. It's amazing, in my opinion. It's been such a wonderful community where people can come in here, they can talk, they can network, they can chat with people, you can ask questions. People aren't experts, of course, of anything here as far as whatever. We're nobody's giving you advice, but they can at least try to point you in the right direction. There's, people here who are curators. It's now the home of this radio station, MSPWaves, which we'll get into that in a few minutes of how I, kind of transitioned into that. But Minnow Support Project, wow. I mean, I can't say enough good things about it. Yes, Make a Minnow is part of it. This is all the part of the Peace, Abundance, Liberty Discord server. And that was kind of Agrode's vision, I believe, for this project, so people could kind of interact in peace and abundance and with liberty, that type of thing, And the Minnow Support Project is here, and you can find it on Steemit. It's at Minnow Support. And, of course, that will give you a link to the Discord server. And yes, wonderful group of people here. Shout out to all the moderators, all the witnesses, all the delegators, all the people who help write the bot scripts and all these things that work behind the scenes to kind of keep, spammers out of here and plagiarizers and people who are going to abuse it and not appreciate it. Big thank you and a big shout out to everybody who does all the great work behind the scenes at MSP. And, you all do a lot of work, most of it all volunteer. And, shout out to all of you. You're all awesome.
I absolutely agree with you. MSP is amazing. I love being here. I joined later than you did because I joined TeamSpeak before, and I was there all the time. And I think I found it in a post as well. Somebody shared something who I followed, and I thought, let's check this out. And it felt like I came home. I got this warm welcome, and people embraced me for the crazy little snack that I am. They accepted me, and ever since then, it just felt like I found a place, a place to call home on the network, to talk with people, to meet other Steemians, and not talk about crypto per se, but about everything really.
Yeah, and I see people chiming in the audience as well for, their appreciation for MSP and how it's helped them and things. And, those first few months when MSP was first created, the core group of people that was here in that time, that was a special time. And I think many people would agree with that, those first few months of MSP was kind of like the golden era. It was wonderful. It was so many wonderful, helpful people who helped create it and helped get it all going and helped it evolve and grow. And it's there's thousands of different accounts now who have joined this community. I don't know the exact number of active users and things now, but there's been, almost 20,000 people, I think, who have at least come through, at least checked, poked their head in and checked it out at least. And that's pretty amazing, that many people have been interested. And it's great to see all the people who have stuck it out and who are still here and helping it grow and thrive. And all the new people who are here, of course, welcome. It's great to have you all here. I do moderate with the Minnow Support Project. And, I'm very grateful to have that opportunity and to even be here. And just, again, shout out to everybody because you guys do a great job.
Yes, shout out to everybody on MSP.
And of course that, kind of evolves into MSPWaves. I was here really early on when that first was created, and, that was a fun experience too. We had countless hours. Rondon, shout out to him, and everybody who was involved in getting it going in the early days, and it was a lot of work, and the people who did that are awesome. And, so shout out to them too. And, of course, so many other people have come on board since then, since those early days to help out. Big shout out to Globocop and, just everybody in MSPWaves now. There's so many new faces and so many people helping out behind the scenes. And, of course, all the DJs who are creating awesome shows. And I really appreciate all the stuff that you guys did for me too when I was first getting going and creating this show. I mean, I was nervous. I didn't know how this was going to go. I'm looking back right now, and so looks like around August 7th, I did my first show last year. And and it was a lot of fun. I remember I had a couple of Steemian interviews. I'm not sure if these people are even here anymore. But had my first guest was from the United Kingdom, I remember, and that was really cool. And because I had never really chatted with someone from the UK before like that. And it was just a really cool opportunity, and it took a lot of work to get this radio station up and running for all the folks that were involved in that. I'm not saying I did it or take any credit for it, but I'm saying those who did. Awesome job to you. This station has grown a lot. It's come a long way, and it's just getting better all the time.
I love MSPWaves, but I'm biased.
Right, yeah, of course we are biased.
Yeah. It's the best station.
But yeah, you guys are all great, so shout out to you. And of course, everybody, if you haven't seen it or checked it out yet, check out the full schedule of all the different shows at MSPWaves.com. There are so many shows on there now. I mean, usually there's a show before us and after us. I'm not sure if that was the case tonight, but...
Yes, there was a replay.
Oh, okay,
before us. Yes.
Kodak's, I believe, does the show before us, and then Saipan will be on after us tonight.
Damashi.
So again, yeah, check out the full schedule at mspwaves.com, and you can find them on Steemit too. There's a Steemit profile. It's at msp-waves. So that was a huge moment for me, doing the radio station and MSP and all of these things. So, of course, every Steemian's journey is going to be different. We've said that before. So I'm not telling you have to do what we did or what I did or any of that stuff. That's not what I'm telling you at all. I'm just sharing of how, I started out not knowing anyone here. I knew absolutely no one. I don't have any friends or relatives on the platform or anything like that. To now, I've got a decent number of followers. We do this radio show every week. So that journey, and everyone that's out there listening is capable of having these different things happen to them. There's lots of opportunities out there. You just have to find them and of course take action on them. We can't do it for you, that type of thing. But there's so many opportunities out there because of the Steem blockchain. It's truly fascinating.
Yeah, I grab them opportunities with both hands. Because you never know what might happen if you do it. I never thought about making a radio show. I'm way too shy to make a radio show. And then, you interviewed me for your radio show, which I found I was so nervous. And it wasn't even live. Remember, you interviewed me pre-recorded. And oh my God, my heart was pounding in my chest. And it all happened again when it was aired, on the Wednesday evening. I was listening to myself getting interviewed, and oh my God, it was awful. But I loved it so much, and here I am making a radio show because I got the opportunity, and it's something new, and that is this platform. It has endless opportunities. So if you smell an opportunity, grab it with both hands and try it out.
Yeah, and I am proud to say that there's been a few people who have been guests on my show and then ended up doing like radio shows and things like that. So that's cool. I'm happy that it was helpful for people to kind of break out of their shell a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, I hope you all do enjoy these radio shows each and every week. We are kind of spinning off and doing a little bit something different this week, of course. We'll get back to our usual format next week of, doing the interviews and things. But, you're always welcome to give us feedback, too, on the shows. We're always happy to hear your thoughts and opinions of the shows. Do you like these kind of shows, too? Do you kind of just like these open talk type shows? It is a lot of fun to just kind of be able to relax and speak freely and things like this, so that's a lot of fun. But, check us out every week here on MSP Waves, and as we mentioned before, you could even be a guest.
Yes, we would love to have a few more guests. I like having guests.
And this is the Steem Radio Show. We're starting to come up here on the top of the hour here. We got about 5 more minutes, but we're going to be here for 1 more hour, so stick around. And we'll keep talking about more things that have happened throughout the last year and where we think things are kind of headed in our opinion. So
To the moon.
I don't know. We'll see. Can't say that, but we have no idea. But we'll see what happens. Let's see here. So moving on. So we've talked about MSP. We've talked about MSPWaves. Are there any communities that you want to mention, Snekky, that you've discovered on Discord?
Yeah, I started out with SteamSpeak. I still go there. It's a wonderful place to be. If you have crypto questions, that is the place to be to get your answers. Very helpful people in there. First Sticken, he's also a witness. He helped me out in my starting days. So a shout out to First Sticken for doing so. Yeah, I love SteamSpeak. I also love the Ramble. You know the Ramble?
Yes, the Steemit Ramble. So that's Shadow's Pub, correct?
Yes,
That does
absolutely. And every Thursday, there is a Pimp Your Post Thursday, and it's an opportunity for people to share their content and get curated, live on air. It's a wonderful place to be, and I try to be there every Thursday. Some weeks I don't make it, and I always find that sad. But yeah, you meet people there as well, and I think you should join as many communities as you can, if you like it, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, that's just our opinion, but do your own research on these communities. If it's not what you're about, well, then don't join. But these ones we're referring to, though, in our opinion, are great places if you're on the Steem blockchain and you're looking to either share your content, make new friends, make connections with people, even just talk to them and things like that. All these places are great. So as we mentioned, SteamSpeak is one, the Steemit Ramble, which is under Steemit user Shadow's Pub, so you can find her on Steemit, and First Sticken is with SteamSpeak, and other ones as well. I mean, I'm from the United States, so I'm in the Steem USA Discord. And that's kind of a fun one because there's people from my country that are talking about their experiences on Steemit, and I'm sure there's many others like that for other parts of the world as well. I'm sure we could find dozens of them, from places all over the world. But examples like that, there's geographical discords, like Steem USA. I know there's others out there that are based on certain types of content, that type of thing. Let's see here. I'm going to kind of look through my Discord because I've got so many now. It's hard to keep track of what's what.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Chiming in on you. I also joined a special Discord channel for Dutch people, and it's called All Dutch. So yeah, there's a lot of geographic Discord channels about Steemit as well, and I really enjoy being there, meeting other Dutch people. Sometimes you just have a question that you need an answer for in your own question, so your own language, so you don't have to think so hard, And Woodsy is here. Hello, Woodsy is from All Dutch as well.
Yes, big shout out to everybody that's listening right now in the live audience. Shout out to you. We'll kind of run down the list here shortly, and we'll give you all a shout out here. So we appreciate you all being here. If there's any Discord communities that you in the audience want to mention too, feel free. We're always welcome to find out about new communities and new places where people can network. So,
yeah, can I name one more?
Sure.
Wheelshares.
What was that? Whale shares? Yes.
Yes, Wheelshares. I go there every Sunday and every Monday. On Sundays, I go for the show from Freedom Exists, and every Monday I chime in because of my friend Nick Floss's show.
Yes, and there's like communities like Whale Shares are great because they're a new audience. If you have a good blog post that you want to promote to these different places, they're all different audiences for you to do so, and many of them even give you the opportunity to speak, about your posts. So that's always a good thing rather than just spamming links. You can actually get on there and talk about your post a little bit, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I like doing it as well. I find it a very fun way to share your content. Getting live curated on Steam, on your Steemit post is scary the first time, but you get used to it, and I just love doing it. And I also like to listen to other people do it, and share your support if you like to post.
So that is the Whale Shares community, and so that's one you can check out as well. We probably should, I don't know if later on maybe we can post some of the links to some of these Discords too, if people are interested.
Yeah.
Or just let us know. If you're interested in any of the links to any of these Discords, just say so in the chat and we can DM them to you.
Yes, or send us a DM and we will DM you back, because it might get lost in the feed.
Yeah, in the show post after the show tonight, when I post the audio, I'll put some links to some Discord servers. It's been a little bit challenging though lately with the invite links. They're kind of tweaking that, it seems like, a little bit, with Discord. So hopefully the invite links will work and everything. But Rondon's sharing DLive here in the chat right now, which is another cool community that's been created, and it's cool for live streaming, and it's tied to the Steem blockchain. And apparently we're on there 24/7 now, Rondon. Is that correct? Can you confirm that in the audience?
I like being live.
Right? So I guess we're on DLive now too.
Ooh, that's scary. I have to go. Bye-bye.
But yes, so that's really cool. So check that out if you're interested. Another option for listening to MSPWaves.
Yes, and maybe in the future you will see our faces as well there.
Yeah, sometimes we do our own live streams too on DLive or on Twitch, or I game a lot and I use Mixer as a live streaming source and things. And so if that's any of that you're interested in, certainly keep an eye on our blogs, and sometimes we'll do curation live streams where we'll have people kind of come on, kind of like these other communities do, and do kind of a live curation show where people can talk about their posts, and we'll just kind of do what we're doing right now, talk about current events and things like that. So kind of keep an eye out for that. But yeah, no, DLive has been really cool. It's definitely been a neat addition to the Steem blockchain community.
Yeah, and I think it's a huge opportunity for new members to join as well. Live streaming is kind of hot, it's a trending thing to do, and if you offer something to a platform like Steemit, I think it might bring a lot of new users in the future.
Yeah, that's something that I've just for now gotten into because of being on Steemit. I never had done live streaming really or anything like that. And so it's a lot of fun to learn how to do all of that and to actually create a show and things like that. It's been a lot of fun for me just learning how to do all of that.
I have honestly no idea how to stream. You do all the hard work according to those things. But one day I think I might do it, live streaming. Maybe if I make a drawing or painting or maybe even a rock, I don't know. I'm kind of scared trying it out though.
I don't think it's anything to be scared of. You can always practice with your one viewer or whatever that you might have on the first live stream. And,
Yes.
Once you grow and have hundreds of people watching, maybe you might be a little more nervous. But I think you'd do fine.
It would be cool to say hello to my one viewer. It's so nice that you're here.
All right. So yeah, no, shout out to DLive for sure. So, let's see here. People chiming in the audience. Great to have you all here with us. Shout out to all of you. Yeah, Steem meetup. Beautiful Rose says. Yeah, I definitely want to go to a Steem meetup at some point. I'm here in New England, so I don't know. It'd be cool to have one here at some point. But I'm hoping maybe Steem Fest will be in the U.S. this year. I don't know. I doubt it will be, but we'll see.
I always get sad when we talk about Steem Fest.
Because you didn't go.
It was in Amsterdam, and I didn't go. It feels like like, that's the one moment if I think back on it, I want to slam my head against the wall and say, "Why did you go?" And now I get this feeling it will never ever be in the Netherlands again. Even though Roland P is Dutch, so maybe I can bribe him with cookies, but I don't think it will ever happen again.
Right. I don't know. We'll have to see, but yeah, Steam meetups definitely seem like they would be pretty cool. I have not yet got to do anything like that, so I certainly would like to. I've been here a year now, and I have not been able to make it to a Steam meetup yet. So I'm hoping it'll happen soon. We'll see. And feel free to chime in the audience, too. If anybody's got questions or anything like that you want to ask Snekky or I, feel free to do so. We'll kind of do an open question session near the end here. But if you've got questions that are kind of relevant to the topics that we're talking about, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, I love questions.
So we talked about communities on Discord. Go ahead.
I'm going to chime in on here, and I'm going to ask you to be quiet.
Ask me to be quiet? Okay.
Yes, because there's somebody in our show now. Buck, are you here?
Yeah, I'm trying to be. Just give me half a shake.
Half a shake. It's a surprise, for you, main event, because you say, I don't want to make a big thing out of it, being 1 year on Steemit. It's a big thing, and I think that we should celebrate.
Hello.
Hello, Buxy. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. Happy anniversary, man.
Hey, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So are you ready, Buck?
Okay. You talked to me before and I'm confused. Am I playing a whole bunch of covers that we're not licensed for? We're starting with Brown Eyed Girl, right?
No. Oh my God, don't give him a heart attack.
Okay, so, I want to be careful though that I don't infringe on the royalty-free rights of even Happy Birthday, so the tune, so I wrote a new one for you.
Ooh.
I'm excited.
Okay, you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Happy Steemiversary, happy Steemiversary, happy Steemiversary to you. Happy Steemiversary, happy Steemiversary, happy Steemiversary to me. Something like that.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Good job.
Woohoo! Thank you. The Buckeye Q.
That can be our new Steemiversary song.
I love it.
I think it's great. Thank you so much for doing that. That was awesome.
You're welcome. Anyone who survives here a year, it's like colonizing a new planet.
Right? Yeah. It's certainly been an experience, that's for sure. But yes, thank you so much for doing that. That's awesome.
Yes. Thank you so much, Becky.
You're welcome.
And the Bug IQ is going to join us, I think, next week here on the radio show.
Yeah, with Global Cop and Darrow Snack, I think we're going to come on as the Planktown Trio.
Ooh.
And we are certainly looking forward to that. So check in next week with us, and they're going to tell us all about their Planktown project.
I am looking forward to that.
Yes, so that was the Bug IQ with my special song. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to jump out.
All right,
okay,
Bug,
bye-bye, Bug. Thank you. So yeah, now you can talk again, Ming.
Thank you. That was awesome.
I thought you would like it.
Yes. I that's something else I was thinking of this yesterday when we were listening to Bucky and Doghouse on their show. It's like, I come on the Steem blockchain and people sing to me. Where else does that happen? Like in your daily life that people will like sing to you?
It never happens. Never happened before until I joined Bucky Turtle and Doghouse show. about beards and stuff. They sing about everything. It always makes me happy to listen to their show.
Yes, they do a great job. So shout out to them for sure. But yes, no, it's wonderful that all these talented musicians are here on Steemit. I think it's awesome.
Yes, there are so many different, creative musicians and creative people here. It blows me away every time I find someone new and I go like fangirling all over again.
Yeah, no, it's been a wild ride. That's all I can say. I mean, I've been here a year now. You've been here almost 2 years. Could you imagine what our lives would be like if we had not joined?
I actually can, and it makes me sad.
I don't know if I'd be happier or sadder. I don't know. I mean, I've certainly enjoyed the experience. It's something I'll remember my entire life. This year on Steemit, and of course many more to come, hopefully. But this first year, I'll look back on this year my whole life and just be like, oh man, you remember that first year on Steemit? How crazy it was, and all the stuff that happened, good and, not necessarily that anything bad happened, but there's always drama. There's stuff that goes on, and it's crazy. The ups and downs are pretty wild.
Oh yes, it's like a roller coaster, and of course there will always be drama llamas. I mean, what's a platform without drama llamas?
Yes, M1, buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Yes.
Yeah, and I honestly think, and this is of course my opinion, I think this is just the start. I think there's a lot coming. We're only 2 years in with this platform, so I'm looking forward to even wilder ride.
Yeah, and hopefully that's the case. I mean, time will tell. But I do feel like this first couple of years for everybody was a very unique, special time, and it's still happening, of course, and people who are just now joining are jumping in here. But watching it change and watching it evolve, from the back in the original blue background Steem website with the Steem logo and all that stuff, to seeing how it's evolved now to its own thing here, and it's completely changed the way it looks, and it seems to be working a lot better. Remember, there was a lot of times where it would crash and it'd be down for hours at a time, and it's had its ups and downs.
Yeah, that was pure drama. That was awful. I remember the first time that I couldn't load Steemit. It was like dying.
It was like dying. Yeah, it was certainly not fun. But yeah, no, it's gone through a lot of changes, and it's been fun to be here for those. And like we said, it seemed like a lot of those changes would happen on a Wednesday when we'd go to do our show, and we'd be like, hey, guess what? They gave us background photos today.
You know what I think is the best change ever?
What?
The fact that I can drag my pictures into a post, into my profile pic. Oh my gosh, that is just amazing.
Yes, that's, and all these changes have happened over the last year or so. So many different improvements and upgrades, and I'm sure more are probably coming. I mean, we don't work for Steemit Inc. or anything, so we don't know, but, I'm sure more changes will continue to happen. Some changes just happened this past week or so. They changed the reward buttons, and they moved them into your settings, and, just little changes that happen, but they're noticeable. And
am I reading it correct, Crimson Cloud? Did you do that?
Oh, you guys did that. Yes.
I'm forever grateful. Thank you.
And it's cool to hear how that all works. So I mean, we certainly always welcome witnesses and developers and people like that to come on this show. If you ever want to talk about, your projects or these behind the scenes things that happen, because I don't think many people really understand how much work has to go into all of that stuff. And so it would be certainly cool to hear those stories.
Yeah, I actually really learn from it when we have developers joining or people who are able to write bots and stuff. And I'm not a technical person. No knowledge at all. So every conversation I have on that, my ears go like, wow, what am I hearing? I don't understand it. And that's also the good part of Steemit. People here, they don't mind explaining things like 3 or 4 times until you get it.
Yeah, there's certainly lots of different places where you can go to ask for help and things like that. And we like hearing the stories from the people who are making these changes. So, if you're somebody out there who does any of that type of stuff, certainly get a hold of us and we'd be happy to have you on the show. Of course, this is the Steem Radio Show here on MSPWaves with Main Event and Poetic Snake.
That's me.
And it's about almost 7:15 here on the East Coast on this May the 9th, 2018. Great to have you here with us. We're going to be here till the top of the hour. And we're kind of just reflecting back on our experiences. We normally have other Steemians here on the show telling their stories. And tonight we decided just to kind of change it up a little bit and kind of talk to you, the audience, and tell you about some of the things that have happened to us. So we hope you're enjoying it. We normally don't talk this much, do we, Snekky?
No, especially me. I don't talk as much. I'm the quiet one, The silent in the background Snekky who slitters around trying to hide and not speak as much. And here I am talking 2 hours.
And so we've kind of talked about a variety of different things. Snekky, do we have any other things on our list here? I know we had a little list going. Remind me of something here.
Remind you of something.
Have we gone? We haven't gone through that whole list yet, I don't think.
No, we haven't. What about flag wars?
Well, I think the only thing we wanted to just kind of mention about that is that they exist. It's I'm not a fan of them. I have not even flagged anybody before. That's some people would argue that's a bad thing, that you should flag, if you see, of course, plagiarism or if you see spam or whatever. I just personally haven't done it yet. Of course, there's bigger accounts that do it. We're not naming names or anything, and they come and go all the time, these battles that go on. But they're out there, and you need to be aware of them if you're somebody that's newer. These larger accounts sometimes get into these feuds and they start flagging each other, and sometimes people kind of get caught up in that because they pick a side. They say, oh, this person's doing whatever, and then they back up the person who's against them, and it just turns into a big mess, in my opinion.
Yes.
Everybody's going to have different opinions on that, though. Some people say that's a good thing because they're fighting whatever the issue is, whether it's whatever, it could be a million different things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wide, variety of opinions, and some people flag, some people don't, and I think that everybody should do whatever they feel good with. I'm not here to say that you should not flag, and I'm not here to tell you that you should flag. I do flag, but only plagiarism.
I like that Wanderin' Rose said she never flagged, and then she leveled up on that.
Yes, that's the best level up ever.
But no, flagging is, we just kind of wanted to mention that it's a thing out there, and we've seen some battles go on in the last year, with different people, and it gets messy, and people get upset, and it gets personal, and it's, just be aware that they exist, I guess, is all I would try to say about it, and it's up to you what you do with that, but they do exist, and that's we just wanted to, if we needed to bring that up at all, because we have seen it in the course of the last year, so.
Yeah, and in the first year I was here, I saw them too, so it's nothing new.
Yeah, and of course everybody's, chiming in their opinions on flagging and things, and you have every right to do with what you want with your stake, your Steem stake. If you want to upvote, downvote, that's up to you. That's your decision. But some of these bigger accounts, though, they can get, upset if you're picking sides and things. So you got to just kind of decide if that's what you want to do and things like that. So we won't go on too much about that, but that's what we're talking about.
Okay, moving on to the next item on the list.
Sure.
Shoutouts.
All right. So usually every week when we have guests here, we give them an opportunity to do some shout-outs, just kind of mention some random Steemians and and things like that. And Snekky, do you have some you want to mention?
Oh, you want me to start?
If you want, we could kind of go back and forth.
Okay, I have a huge list though.
That's
So
fine. That's fine.
because I still am scared that I miss people on the list. So please forgive me if I do not mention you. I will bite you later. My first shout out is going to the Buckeye Q. Man, am I happy that I met this amazing person. He's so bright. He's a light in my life. He can read me like no one else can here on the platform. If I type one letter, he knows what I'm feeling. And that's kind of weird and awesome at the same time. So the Buckeye Q, I love you. And I love the projects that you're working on together with me. And besides, next to that, you do your own projects as well. Plankton being one of them. I just love it. And my second shout out is going to Yitnat. Oh my God, do I love Yitnat. If you don't know Yitnat, you should check out Yitnat. Her posts, they are amazing. Her voice is so amazing. She sings and she makes the most amazing songs, and she's an artist in heart and soul. She draws, she makes amazing artworks as well, so check her out as well. Do you want to do two, or do I need to go on?
Oh, there's so many different people we could give shout outs to. And I mean, I hope no one gets offended if we don't mention you, but I mean, we could go on for hours. I mean, we really could. I mean, I want to just shout out everybody in the Middle Support Project again. Shout out, of course, to Agrode, who's created this group and, delegated lots of steam power to all these different projects. And a lot of time goes into doing all of this stuff. And so shout out to Agrode. Shout out to Rondon, who does a lot of work with the radio station and combined with Globocop. And, those guys all do a lot of work to keep these things going. And of course, the moderators, all of them, it's so hard to mention specific people, but all of them, all these people that are the leaders here in Minnow Support and the witnesses, and it's just amazing because so many of them do so much work. And yes, Rondon, I'm saying your name. Shout out to Rondon. Yes.
Rondon.
Yes, he knows. He does a lot of work, that guy. He's stayed up a lot of hours making it all happen. And with help, of course, with many others behind the scene. I see Menno in the audience. Shout out to him. Lots of people involved in the radio station. I know Crimson's done a lot of stuff as well. Just so many people. So, I'll start with those.
You're done now?
Yeah. Well, I'll have more, but go ahead.
Okay. I also want to shout out Jack Johannes Hemp. He's the person I do the curation for OCD with for the Dutch Post. We work together 6 days a week, and it's amazing doing so. I also wanted to shout out Scussie, because Scussie is Scussie, and I love Scussie. Scussie is amazing. I also want to shout out Freedom Exists, because I really enjoy his voice and I love what he's doing on the platform for wheelchairs and for Steemit as well. I want to shout out Nick Flusses because he's just amazing. I love you, Nick. And I also want to shout out Shadows Pup because, oh my God, do I love Shadows Pup. And my list goes on. Do you want to chime in again, or should I finish my list first?
It's crazy. There's so many people who have been so influential to us, over the last year. Shout out to all the guests who have been on the show with us. We've had a lot of people on the show. I mean, we've had Papa Pepper join us on the show. We've had Forstickin join us on the show. Jerry Banfield. So many different people and personalities who have joined us on the radio show. So shout out to all of them, of course, who have taken the time to join us. Starkers, Roland P. I mean, we've had most of like the top 20 witnesses or so on the show, which is cool. It's cool to have been able to talk to a lot of these folks, and so just shout out to all of the previous guests who have been on the radio show with us.
Yeah, and I also want to shout out False Idols because he curates together with me for You Got Snacked. I also want to shout out Roland P. He's the Dutch witness I voted for. I think he was my first witness vote, and he actually decided to support my You Got Snacked project with delegation. So thank you for that, Roland P. And I want to shout out Ma1ne fans, because Ma1ne fan, you rock. You are an amazing DJ and an amazing person, and you are like an amazing friend to me, and I can always, come to you and ask questions and, even rant a little bit when I get down or whatever. I'm really blessed to call you my friend. So shout out to Ma1ne fans. Check him out.
Well, thank you so much. And I mean, yes, and so many other people who have been helpful to me and us throughout the time we've been here. I mean, big shout out to people like Team Steem, Acid Yo, so many people, all the OCD curators, Gmux has been always a great friend, and people like this, and so many people who are just always around and doing such good things on the platform. You're always able to reach out to them and things like that. It's certainly wonderful to call these people my friends, in a way online and things. And man, just so many different people. Cubby Elizabeth. I mean, so many different people. I've just got to kind of scroll back through here so I don't miss anybody. There's so many names that I could give shout outs to.
Yeah, the opportunities are endless.
Yeah, but appreciate all of you, everybody who gives us, voting support and things like that. Actually take the time to look at our posts and support us. Anybody that's delegating Steem to us, that type of thing. We certainly appreciate it. All of that type of stuff. We try to do what we can to be helpful in the community by doing these radio shows, by doing curation. Lots of different things that we try to do. So, of course, we appreciate all the support you give us as well.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody who follows me on Steemit, and votes for me or replies to me. It's really, really, really appreciated. So thank you for that.
So not to keep getting too sappy here, we'll move on from that. But yes, shout out to everybody. If we missed you, we apologize. But shout out to everybody out there. We really appreciate you. So, what's next?
What's next is questions.
Yeah, so if people in the audience do have questions for us, feel free to let us know. Got about a half an hour here, or if there's another subject you want to talk about here tonight on the show, certainly let us know. We can also go around the world if you guys want. You can post in the chat right now what country you are listening from, and do us a favor and actually type out the country, and let us know where you're listening from tonight. It's always a lot of fun to see where you're all at. I'm in the United States. Snekky, where are you?
I'm on Mars.
Mars?
Yeah, I moved.
Oh.
So I'm in the Netherlands. And that's Mars, because the Netherlands is weird.
Bemble Maniac says they're in Germany.
Oh, he's close.
Great to have you here. Grip says, yay, Mars. Menno's in some kind of a stand. I don't know which one. Beautiful Rose is in Pennsylvania. What's that?
He's in every stand possible, I think.
Steemit stand. Woodsies says they're in Belgium.
Happy Smiley Man is in the UK.
M1 says, I'm listening in from Messier 32. Okay.
Scuzzy is from New Petrula.
Ah, that's who that is.
Casserole Eyeless.
That's an interesting username.
It sure is. Hello, Happy Smiley Man. He's saying hi, Snekky. Hey. Oh, and Bamble Maniac is talking to me in Dutch right now. He says I'm sending greetings to his little country, neighbor country. We're not little. We're just a bit small.
Article 61's asking which city or state has the biggest concentration of Steemians. That I do not know. I don't know.
It's my couch.
Your couch, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is it? At one time, I thought I heard that there was mostly people in the U.S. on Steemit, but that's probably changed because I see a lot of people joining from other countries. So way more than I see people from the U.S. joining typically.
Yeah, I see a lot more Europeans joining as well. I think
Yep.
that's a good thing.
People from Africa, people from Europe, people from Asia. Yeah, it seems like people from all over the world, South America, um, people all over the world. It's really cool that, they're all finding their way here to this community.
Yes, yes, and beautiful Rose is saying she sees a lot of people joining from Philippines and Nigeria. I see that too. The community in the Netherlands is growing as well. It's slowly growing, but it's growing.
So, yes, thank
And
you for letting us know where you're all from.
yes, I always like to know where people are. It's like a a trip around the world for real.
And Snekky, if you want, why don't you take just a quick moment and let people know kind of this, just things you've been working on lately and posts that you've been doing. I know you've been doing a lot of really cool artwork posts and things like that. I'm just going to refill my water here briefly.
Oh my gosh.
You can do it. I know you can do it. You can handle it.
You're
I'll be right back. I'll
Okay.
only be like 30 seconds.
Is that a promise?
Yes.
Don't leave me. Okay. Well, yes, I have been working on a lot of different arts the past couple of weeks. Trying out new things is something that I really enjoy doing. And I'm not going to hit the red button. I just did it. What's happening now? I'm one. And I like to paint rocks. I have been dotting on rocks and on canvases. I made a Steemit dotting painting. You are back. I hear you.
Yes, I'm back.
See?
Sorry.
I hit the red button. M1 told me to do so.
I'm battling a little bit of a cough here, so if I don't have some water within reach, I might lose my voice.
Bless you. Don't lose your voice. At least not for 30 more minutes.
Right. I got to make it through at least 30 more minutes, so.
Yes, please.
But no, I really liked the new one you did there of the Steam logo with the dots. I thought that looked really cool.
Do you want me to share it?
Sure, if you want. I thought it came out really good, so. People haven't checked out Snekky's blog yet. They certainly should. She certainly does a lot of really cool art posts, and yeah, like she mentioned, her curation and things like that. It's pretty cool. Look at that. I think that looks cool.
Yes, I'm happy with it. It's standing next to me, so that I can look at it the whole time. I fell in love with it, with my own silly piece of art.
Yeah, I think it came out really nice. Good job.
Thank you very much. I like doing creative things, it keeps my mind going, and that's also why I'm happy that I found out about Steemit, because this is a marvelous place for artists, for creative people to share their content, and everybody feels so welcome, at least those that I spoke to who share art or drawings or things that are creative. They feel at home here, and that is just amazing.
And so kind of moving on now, some other things, we just kind of wanted to talk about a little bit is just, kind of your mindset here on Steemit too. I mean, people, of course, are going to go through different phases of being here. They're going to join, they're going to be excited, they're going to be, willing to put in, the time to be online a lot and make these connections and create the content and do these things. At least it seems like a lot of people are anyway. Maybe not everybody. Again, this is always just our opinions.
But I think I have been excited for a long, long time.
And the price obviously is a factor in that too. When Steam's 10 cents versus $7, there's going to be a different level of excitement, I think.
Oh yes, I think so too. We the last time that Steam was very high and our S2P was very high, I saw a lot more postings going on.
Well, this is one that I remember I made and I put in a post. I'll share it in the chat. It was a chart. This was, so it was showing that in January 2016 it was 15 cents, and then or 2017 I guess it was, and then in 2018 it almost hit $7. That was pretty wild. Yeah.
Do you remember that time that we were looking at the market during the night, and it went like,
It went Parabolic, yeah, that was a crazy time. That right there, what I just shared, that was a crazy time right there. Because
Absolutely.
and that shows, I mean, I joined May 9th, 2017, and you can see in the chart right there where Steem was. It was really low, it was, I don't know, not very high. And it was right around that time that it started making its move up, but then it grinded lower for a long time until like December. And then boom, it took off, And of course, we've grinded back lower again since then, and we're slowly creeping back up again. But it's been a wild ride. I mean, and that chart right there kind of shows it. That that shows my year on Steem right there in a chart.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it was certainly interesting.
Absolutely.
But so that was one thing I wanted to share, because that shows basically in a chart form what my year's been like here on Steemit. And of course,
yes.
it doesn't show the continuation of it grinding back down, but that's kind of it in a nutshell right there. But so what we wanted to talk about is kind of the transition. So, okay, back here in May when the chart was lower, we were still excited to be here. I can remember saying numerous times that as long as Steem is around $1, I'm happy. I remember saying that phrase like a lot. And,
yes, I heard you say it a few times.
Yeah, and so, it's of course gone way past that and come back down below that. But as long as it's worth something, I guess, is where I would say today, after being here a year, as long as it's worth something, then it's still beneficial, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I always said, as long as Steem is 50 cents, I will be happy, because when I joined it was 14 and 7 cents. So I was very happy. So now I'm really like super excited again. Yeah.
And M1's asking, do the rewards stay the same when the price fluctuates? If you mean like, do the post rewards fluctuate, then I believe yes. So if today Steem is $3, but tomorrow it's $5, I think it's on like a 7-day curve, I think. Don't hold me to that, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I'm pretty sure it does fluctuate. Yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, absolutely.
Especially when it goes down. So
yes.
if you write a post today and Steem's $3 and you get a $50 vote or something, tomorrow if it goes back to $2, your post is going to go down. That's just how that works.
That's, by the way, just one more change that I went through.
Okay, Osbit Bank just chimed in and says post payouts are based on a 3.5-day average now instead of the 7-day window. That's awesome.
Oh yes, absolutely.
That's better, because the price fluctuates all the time. So 7 days is kind of a long time, because if on a Monday you get that price spike and it goes up to, $6 or something, and then on Friday it goes back to $2, that would be a kind of a wild swing, but I mean, it could happen. Those averages, having that window be smaller, I think is good.
Yeah, I think so too.
So thank you, Osbit Bank. And a shout out to Osbit Bank, too. Another great person who's involved with the Minnow Support Project. Certainly appreciate you stopping by. Thank you so much.
It's just wonderful to have you here.
And I see Bucky Dirtle in the chat. Shout out to Bucky.
Maybe we should sing a song to Bucky. No.
If I had something ready to go, I'm not good at on the fly singing.
No,
I'm not good at improv, I guess.
We will lose all our listeners. They say, bye-bye, we're going now.
Yeah, they'd all run away.
Yes, we don't want that.
But so kind of where we were going with all of that is that, you're going to start out on this platform, I feel like, in one mindset, right? So I know when I first was here, I was like in awe of the whole thing. I had no idea what I was doing here. I didn't know much about crypto. We went over this at the beginning of the show. But here I am now a year later, and by no means am I an expert of anything. Definitely not. But I definitely feel much more confident and comfortable here. I understand more and things like that. But there is a mindset change that I noticed that a lot of people kind of go through from when they first get here and they have no Steem power and they start out, they're brand new. versus when they've been here for a while and they get their Steem power and they start having some influence in the communities. I just would try to remind everybody to try to stay humble a little bit, remember what it was like for people who were when you were new, and for people, because I see sometimes people, they may not be so friendly to newer people, or they might get frustrated with people asking questions, and it's sad to see that sometimes, but I know it happens. People get frustrated. They're busy, they're busy doing their projects and their things, and they don't want to have to do all that stuff. But just try to keep that in mind to the people who have been here for a little while now. Is just, I'm not saying you have to help people or do whatever, but at least be kind of courteous to the newer people, because they don't always know. And that's where communities like MSP are a great place, because they try to understand that, people are going to be new, they're going to ask questions, and so it's a good community for those people. But, just to anybody out there, even if you're new right now, if, a year from now you've got yourself some Steem power, you've got some followers, you're doing pretty good, don't step on the little guy, try to kind of keep them in mind, and just that type of thing. Not trying to push my morale on people or whatever, but, I do kind of see that transition sometimes. And I don't know if it's necessarily like greed or selfishness or whatever, but they get that Steem power and that influence, and their attitude sort of changes a little. That happens with anybody with money, I guess, too. But, just kind of be aware of it. Be aware of it. Yeah, not everybody, again. Yeah. But just kind of be aware of it. And I noticed myself sometimes too, like I noticed when those moments changed, when I started not feeling like the excited new person anymore. And someone else made a really good analogy about that. And they said it's kind of like high school or college or whatever. You come in as the freshman, and you're nervous and you're new and all that kind of stuff, and eventually you work your way up to a senior where you know everybody, and it's that type of thing. So it's kind of like that analogy. So when you become the senior in the Steem universe, don't forget that the freshmen, the new people, might not be so comfortable here, or they might be asking questions or something, and try to help them out, I guess.
Yeah, I always try to help out where I can as well. I've been here a long time, and I still remember how it felt to be new and to not know how things work, and to have to find everything out, and you're scared of making mistakes, or like you said, don't step on the little guy. But if you grew bigger, take them under your flipper and lift them up, show them some support. Don't yell at them. Explain. A friendly guiding hand, in my opinion, works better than a slap in the face.
Right. So, we won't press on that too much, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there just as, some of the thoughts and things. That's kind of what this show is about, is just our thoughts and experiences, the things we've seen since we've been here for a year now. And I've been here for a year anyway. This is my Steemiversary. Snekky's is coming up really soon too, though. Will have been here 2 years. So she's the veteran.
Do I get an apple pie when I reach 2 years?
Absolutely.
I'm going to keep you to that.
So, big shout out to everybody who's been listening tonight in the audience. We've got some interesting discussions going on in the chat, so thank you to all of you who are listening tonight. This is the Steem Radio Show here with Main Event and Poetic Snake.
That's me.
And, again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, usually each and every week we bring live guests here on the show, so people from the Steem community. So we'll be doing that next week. We'll get back to business here. Stop talking about us all the time, but...
I don't like talking about myself.
Yeah, I think it was good, though, that we kind of got some of that stuff out there, though, so people kind of learn a little bit more about us, too. Because, like we like to say, when we learn more about other Steemians, it kind of helps us appreciate their content and things like that. So hopefully people kind of hearing our story again, that'll help them kind of get to know us a little better.
Yes, that's true. I can't argue with that.
And we do have some time here at the end of the show here. If anybody's got questions for myself or Poetic Snake,
Yes,
feel
I
free to
love
ask.
questions. Ask us questions. We will answer. Well, not personal
We, of
questions.
course, we reserve the right to answer which ones we want. But
I'm picky on questions.
Yeah,
But ask me questions. I like that.
Feel free. Again, we're here doing this radio show every Wednesday night from 10 to midnight UTC time, which is 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What's your favorite type of air to breathe?
Oxygen.
No. I don't know.
Osbit Bank says, "Are you the Scarecrow or the Tin Man?" He said he got asked on Twitter today.
Oh.
Do you know what that refers to?
No. Yeah, to the Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah. So are you missing like your heart or your brain?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I think I'd be a little mix of both. You know. As far as personality goes, I mean, I don't feel like I try not to be mean to people or, step on them or type of thing. I try to help them out as best I can. So.
Yeah, I think I still have a heart. It's beating still in my chest. But I can be hard like a tin man. If need be, something with my brain, I can shut it off, and I like that. Poop, poop, bye-bye.
Osbit Bank posted his reply. It said, "Depending on the situation, both. Obey the brain, but listen to the heart." That's a good answer.
Yes, I agree.
He said he's overthinking it. Yes, no, that's a good one.
Do you have a crush?
I do not.
I do not either. Nope, I'm not crushing.
Not at the moment.
Nope.
Change my mind.
Maybe tomorrow, but
It's like, change
today.
my mind. I don't know. But no, not as of today.
We don't do that.
I'm too busy. I work all the time.
Don't have time
Seems
to crush.
Yeah. But we hope that some of you would want to be guests here on the show soon. So certainly get a hold of us. We're always looking for future guests here on the show. Even if you've already been a guest before, you could be a returning guest sometime. That's okay, too. It's always fun to hear a new update from you or what projects you're working on. So certainly let us know. We're going to have some interesting guests coming up in the next few weeks. So
Ooh, yes. You have to stay tuned for that one.
Yes.
No. It's almost 2 a.m. Then my English, it goes low.
Yes, it's late for you, and we made you talk a lot tonight, which normally we don't do, but...
Yeah, I will have to sleep for 3 days now.
I think you did fine.
Yes, Bucky Durdle is right. Be a guest on this show, and you never know where it will take you. We would really love having you as a guest on our show, everybody. It's just an opportunity for you as well to tell people who you are, what you do here on the Steemit blockchain, and tell us about your projects. And it's an amazing opportunity to just be on air in a laid back situation, a fun talk, and make friends, and maybe even get some connections going. So all you have to do is just send us a DM, either Main Event or me, or you can leave a reply on one of the show posts. Main Event is going to post in a little bit the recap of this show, and you can leave a reply there as well if you would like to be a guest.
Yes, and if you want to share our blog links or something like that, feel free.
Okay.
Normally we do that for the other guests too. So I promise we don't normally sit here and talk about ourselves. We don't do that. I was hesitant to even do it tonight, but I thought it would be kind of fun to take a stroll down memory lane and just remember some of the different things that have happened throughout the year. I mean, joining all these different groups and just seeing how the platform's changed. I mean, we've seen people come and go. Just so many changes have happened. I mean, people be in some groups and then they'd go to other groups and create other groups, and it's just been a lot that's gone on and things, and it's been a fun ride seeing how it's all changed. I mean, it's in all these new people who are joining now all the time. It's great seeing all the content that they like to create and all of these things. So it was certainly fun taking a look back over the last year. And again, thank you to all of you who have supported us, and listened to this radio show and all the wonderful support you give us. So.
Yes, I'm very grateful and thankful for that as well. It's amazing to get so many support. If you do something and people contact you and tell you, hey, you're doing a good job, or hey, I loved what you did with the show. I listen every week to what you're doing. That's really great. And I don't think that I say it enough, but I'm really thankful for all the support, not only for me, but also for the radio show and the projects that I'm working on. It's just amazing.
Is that where we say, throw your SP delegations at us? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. But those of you who do that, yes.
I'm a huge stalker. I'm a good stalker. Follow.
Right? Yeah. No, we appreciate all of you. You're all awesome. So, let's see here. Any other things you want to mention, Snekky? Well, you have the floor here.
I lost you for a second.
Oh, were there any other things you want to talk about? Like any people or projects or just anything else here? Because we've only got about 10 minutes left.
Well, if you allow me the opportunity, I would like to say a little bit more about You Got Snacked. I just started it again. Curation is important for the platform. Curation is important for those people who write posts, and I think that You Got Snacked is a new community growing. The Discord is growing rapidly, and it's amazing to see. And oh my God, Hershey chocolate! I love that too. I got distracted now.
Yeah, they're talking about chocolate now in the audience. We must have lost them there.
Yes. I'm sorry, people.
But yeah, no, that's what's wonderful about this, is we can all chat and interact and have fun. I mean, so many good laughs and things over the last year. I mean, we've spent countless hours on Discord chatting and doing voice chats and all these things. It's wonderful. That's the biggest thing I'll say.
Food.
Yes, me too.
I even like chocolate in my food.
The biggest takeaway I would say from my year on Steemit is that it's so much more than just rewards. It's so much more than just crypto. It's so much more than just blogging. Once people discover this Discord and community and all these different groups and even Steam.chat and all of these other places where they can communicate with all of these people, that opens the floodgates to so many things. Like, as we mentioned, opportunities, friendships, connections. I mean, possible business opportunities. You're talking life-changing things that can happen. People have gotten married because they met each other on Steem blockchain. People have, moved. They've literally changed their lives. I mean, even myself, I have an actual schedule now for Steemit. I have to curate every day. I have to find the posts. I have to do this radio show every week. Of course, I'm a moderator with MSP, so we have our meetings and things and duties to do with that. And it's changed my life. It's given me more things to do and more people to meet, and just very grateful for all of that. So if you're new, or if you're curious about Steemit and the Steem blockchain, if you're listening to this, on YouTube or whatnot, at least check it out, in my opinion, because it's so much more than what you might even think it is. Some people say, oh, it's just a cryptocurrency and it's a place to post content or whatever. It's not. There's so much more to it, and it's the Steemit website, of course, is just one aspect of it. It's the entire Steem blockchain and everything that connects to and from it outside of it as well.
You should become a Steem ambassador.
I've thought about it. The only problem with that is I don't really have the time to do the event parts, to actually go out and promote and do events. So that part of it, I don't know if I'd really have the time to be able to do. But I do like doing these radio shows because we have the time and capability to do that. So And I do post this on YouTube and other platforms after. So I mean, hopefully it does reach some other people, and they might be able to find out about it.
I am still seeing food and chocolate everywhere.
Yes. Well, we've only got a few minutes left, everybody. But we certainly do appreciate all of you, and that's kind of what we wanted to do tonight, was just recognize everyone else. I'm losing my voice. I am battling a little bit of a cold, so I apologize for that. Let me take a quick drink.
Bless you.
Okay.
I think we should shout out the people who are in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty chat room.
All right.
You agree with me?
You
want me to do that?
I see Article 61, Osbit Bank, Beautiful Rose, Bemble Maniac. Go for it.
Bucky Dirtle, Carla Gons, Casserole Eyelids Cassie, Crimson Glad, Cryptopy Dude, Emma K. Schoon. I hope I said that good. Flagproof Menno, Globy's here.
I see Grim, I see Happy Smiley Man, Julie, M1, Nick Flossus, Pensive, Rondon, Red Sky Lullaby, The Bug IQ, Woodsy. Of course, everybody who's also listening either on MSPWaves.com or if you're listening on DLive, shout out to you as well. Certainly check out our blogs. If you're watching on MSP Waves or listening on DLive or whatnot, certainly follow us if you're interested, and you can catch the show. And you can always support the show by checking out our posts that we do, of course, where we talk about the show. And, of course, we appreciate any support you give there, whether it's a re-steam or even just some replies and some feedback. We always appreciate it.
Feedback is always a good thing.
Yes. We're running down here. So again, thank you, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to kind of talk about the last year on Steemit. And, I hope that wasn't too boring for you, but I think it was a fun talk, and, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had fun too. I think it's good looking back every now and then.
And so we'll run down the gambit here again. So, if you haven't done so yet, you can certainly check out the Minnow Support Project on Steemit. It's at Minnow Support, and they'll find you a link to the Discord server, the Peace, Abundance, Liberty Discord server, where we're chatting right now live. Again, that's a great community for you to join, so certainly check that out if you're interested. And shout out to everybody in MSP Waves, and certainly check out the full schedule of all the radio shows at mspwaves.com. Of course, Snekky's doing her You Got Snecked project. Certainly check that out. And I'm doing my weekly curation posts for Minnow Support Project as well, where I'm featuring new Steemians who are doing their Introduce Yourself posts. So certainly check that out. We, of course, always do appreciate any support you give us. SP delegations, things like that go a long way because we're out there curating and trying to help other people here on the platform all the time. So we certainly appreciate that support as well.
Absolutely.
And stick around. I believe Saipan Damashi is coming up next here on MSP Waves. It's DJ Damashi and the Dancing Dreamers. So stick around for that. That is coming up next. And I will be sharing the recording of the show tonight on my blog. So if for some reason you missed any of the show tonight, or if you want to go back and hear previous episodes, you can check that out. I'll be doing a post here on Steemit shortly, where I'll share that. So again, certainly appreciate any re-steams and things like that you feel like giving that. Thank you. Snekky, we got about 2 minutes here. So any other final thoughts here?
Final thoughts. Last year. I feel like it's New Year right now because you're celebrating.
Right.
The year was amazing for me as well, and I'm so looking forward to hitting the 2-year mark in 2 months as well. I'm sure I will write a post about it.
Yeah, I feel like everybody always just wants to do that kind of stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, some people argue against it, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, I like reading those posts. I'm only human, you know. We have our preferences.
All right, everybody. So, this is the Steem Radio show with Main Event and Poetic Snake. Of course, disclaimer, everything you hear on this show is strictly just our opinions. We are not financial experts whatsoever, so do not take any of this stuff as financial advice or, advice of any kind whatsoever. This is all just strictly for entertainment purposes only. Of course, MSPWaves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show hosts or our guests. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station, and the material you hear on the Steem Radio show is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only.
Always do your own research.
Absolutely. I said it.
Yeah, and apples, people. Don't forget about the apples.
Yes, Snekky loves her apples.
Yes.
But thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. And this is the Steem Radio Show on MSPWaves Radio. And we will be back next week. We'll have at least 3 Steemians joining us on the show next week, so certainly check that out. We are going to say so long. Say bye, Snekky.
Bye, Snekky.
Have a good night, everybody. This is Main Event and Poetic Snake signing off. Good night.